Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can create and configure terms of use policy, right? So what terms of use policy is going to do when we are enforcing entitlement management, as well as any resources that people from internal and external organizations are going to access the resources, right? And those would be accessed by the users for their role as in it could be their project specific role or any role that they are going to perform on the projects or with the team or overall across the organization, right? So the terms of use is going to be the policy listed document, right? And what they should do, what they should not do, and how they should follow the process of it, right? And it also going to be included how the resources are should be or resources should be used and what they should do and they should not do. If they have the permissions to share the documents internally and externally, if they have the permissions to download, print, or copy the data, right? And if yes, then they can do it. If not, then they are prevented and blocked, and they should not do it. Even if they do it, even if they are allowed to do it, they should not do it because, as per the terms of use, company has ask them to sign that terms of use when they try to log in first time, when they try to access any of those resources. And if they have accepted it, that means they are liable for any of the misuse, any of the situations if the data or any confidential information is shared across over the be it internet or anyone, right? So that details information can be misused against the organizations and companies, and that can be the big issue for the organizations, right? And that is when the terms of use policy is going to be enforced on each of those resources. It could be enforced on accessing the device. It could be enforced accessing on the particular application, particular service, particular maybe any document, even if you try to access any document from SharePoint or OneDrive, and that is also can be possible by enforcing the policy. And then it is going to simply ask users to accept it and agree to that all the terms of use policies. If they are not agreeing, that means they are not abiding themselves to the policy and configurations that is requested by the organizations, and they should follow those rules. If not, then they are going to be in trouble because organization is going to revoke the access and they are not going to allow them to access any of those resources in short, right? So I have created such terms of use, which is of course a sample terms of use, and terms of use policy is going to be depend on the organization. What resources organization is going to let people access inside and outside the organization basis on their needs and requirements, again basis on the projects and everything together. And it is something like it is not possible. Every organization does not rely on any third party or external partners, vendors, or maybe contractors, right? So they do have their vendors, contractors, and partners who are working on different projects, different things. So do they definitely do have those projects going on, and in that case they are going to enforce those terms of use policies even for internal users as well, what they should follow, what they should not. And even if they try to share any confidential information of the organization and their business and any future plans or anything like that, they should abide the company rules, and they should not do unwanted things that organization is really not expecting, right? So I have created a document. I'll just share my screen and I'll show you that how it is going to be look like, and then I'll show you how we can set it up the terms of use policy from the Entra ID, and then you can also go ahead and do that as per needs basically. All right. So I'm on the Entra portal, but before that, I wanted to show you the sample terms of use policy that I have created, right? So here's the a document I have created, and this is definitely a sample, and I have enlisted these different resources here, which I'm targeting specifically. but definitely there could be any resources and any definitions or anything that you wanted to put in this policy, what people can do and cannot do. And this is just a simple document I have created, and it has mentioned all the authorized access only and what people can do on managed devices as well as unmanaged devices, and what we are allowing them to do, what they can do on Teams, on Microsoft 365 applications, then SharePoint, Exchange Online, Entra user credentials, right? And then other Azure services. So this is a kind of brief that I have created, but definitely it is going to be different for each and every requirements of the organization. And then that can be used specifically for each and every needs, right? And while uploading this document, it should be in PDF format in while creating the terms of use policy, right? And this document should be, so now I have created a PDF as well of this document. I will simply show you that here quickly. So this is the document that I have created in the PDF format. And one more very important thing of this is that we should have this document with the branded or the organization branding should also be added in this document. If I have this Word document here, that means I should be able to, or I should add my organization branding, which includes the organization logo and the title of this document, which is clearly mentioned for people and people can read it clearly, right? And also we can put all the details of these terms of use policy. And at the end, here you can see the contact information. We can add the IT contact details where people can reach out if in case they need any help, they need any clarification. And in most cases, it is not the IT department who takes care of everything. The policy is written by either security and compliance team together in collaboration with IT, right? So each of those departments are working together to build these policies, and then those policies are being deployed and enforced on the user access levels, accounts, and everything, right? And then those are available, right? So here it would be a contact details that we can add, and then people can reach out if in case they wanted to know more about it. If someone violate the policy and what it is going to do, right? So these are just a few points that are added, but definitely those would be added and changed basis on the needs and requirements of the organization, right? So yeah, this is the one of the thing that we can do. And next, it is going to be, let's say we wanted to go ahead and create a policy. So here in the Entra admin portal, you can see that I have created few of those before for teams and different other requirements. So if I have to go ahead and create one, so you need to go to, I'll just go back on the home screen and I'll start from the beginning so that you can also know and understand. Okay, so I'm on the Entra portal here, and to go to the entitlement management and terms of use, we need to go to identity governance and then entitlement management, and then at the down here, terms of use. So click on it and you will be landed here. You need to click on new terms. So under the new terms, you can see that there are a bunch of options for us to add and create, right? So here it says to create and upload document. So here you can give it a name like maybe org-wide terms of use for managed and unmanaged devices. So this is just a name, right? And we can give it for our internal purpose. That name is not going to be shown to the end user side, right? Or end user won't be able to see that name, right? But there is a display name for us to the document that is going to be visible to the end users under here, right? So the next is terms of use document. So we need to upload that document here, and we need to select that document. Perfect. So document is uploaded. From here, you need to select the appropriate language. So I'm going to select the English language. And all right. So this is the language, and I'm going to give it a name, right? So the name is going to be something like maybe terms of use, then cloud resources. That's it. So you can put any name which is suitable for requirements as per organization and policy. And there's one more thing, or one more option for us to add under additional language, right? And then we can put or upload one more file, and then that language and file is going to be pushed through, right? So that way we can add additional documents as well. And very important part of this is that the option is require users to expand the terms of use. If you have signed or accepted terms of use, you might have seen there is a button called expand or extend or something like that. That comes from this option. If this option is on, then that means user has to expand that whole page, and they have to read from the page 1 till the last. If even if there are many pages, more than 3 pages, 10 pages, and whatever it is, right? So they have to go through it, even if they don't read completely, but they have to scroll to the end, and then it is going to simply be considered as accepted, and user has gone through it and read it, right? So that is the one of that option. The next option is require users to consent on every device. What this means is that it is going to be something user has to grant the consent on each and every device, even if they are trying to access on their personal device, organization provided devices, which is of course a managed device. And even if they try to access the same data or files or any resource on the mobile device or anywhere, be it publicly accessible devices as well, right? So in that case, it is going to be enforcing them. Here you see a little bit information icon which says for per device consent, each device must be registered with Entra before access will be granted, right? So this is the one of that requirement if we are enforcing this on each device or every device, right? So this is that requirement here. And then next is expire consents. If we wanted to expire the consent after a particular period, we can set it to on, and we can put the particular date. Let's say I wanted to expire this consent on 28th February. And then I can set the frequency of annually, biannually, quarterly, or monthly, right? So this way we can set the frequency here. And then next is duration before reacceptance required. Maybe if in case we wanted to enforce a reacceptance of these terms of use on those users, so I'll just simply put the number of days here. So those number of days should be something like 35 days that user has to reaccept the terms of use, and then they can, or they are free to go ahead and access those resources, right? And then at the last, you can see there's a conditional access option, which says enforce with the conditional access policy templates. So there are two options, either create conditional access policy later or custom policy. If I select the custom policy, it is going to simply create these terms of use, and it is going to redirect me to the conditional access policy blade, and is going to ask me to create a policy and make the appropriate configurations, of course, because but by default, it is going to select few of the parameters like all the users across the organization, which includes internal and external and guest users as well, right? And also it is going to put or push all the cloud applications or all the applications across the organizations or across the which are part of or which can be scoped within the conditional access policy. So let's do that. And the second option is, you can see here, create conditional access policy later, right? So this means that it is going to create conditional, create terms of use now, and later we get option to create, or it is not going to enforce us, but we have to go ahead and create conditional access policies on our own, and then that policy can be enforced on either all users or all uh, guest users or whoever it is we are targeting, basically, right? So let's go ahead with the first option, which is custom policy, because that's what we wanted to do here, and go ahead with that, right? So let's click on create button here. So now it is creating. It should be ready here. Perfect. So here you can see that it has created and it is redirecting us to the conditional access policy blade, right? So here you can see that it has moved us. So I'll just simply give it a name, terms of use, managed and unmanaged. So it is easy to identify, right? And under the users, we can scope either all users or any users or anything. Then target resources, of course, basis on our needs and requirements, we can select any of these. So resources includes the all the cloud apps, and then we can select either cloud apps or internet resource with global secure access or selected resources. For now, I'm going to select all resources, and I'm not going to exclude anything. So that should be fine. Under network, if we have anything that to be added or excluded, we can go ahead and do that from network side. And then conditions, what conditions we are looking to enforce this one, right? So let's say user risk, sign-in risk, insider risk, device platforms, locations, client applications, filter for devices, and authentication flows. So majorly it would be enforced basis on the devices, and that is not the one of the case here, but it totally depends on the organization, how we are trying to enforce these policies, because if we are scoping out these policies basis on the users or people who are outside the organization, and if we wanted to push this terms of use on those devices which we as an organization are not really managing, we don't have the control on it, we don't have any visibility of those devices and people who are accessing or wide resources, right? Be it applications, data, files, and anything that they are using for any work, a project specific or anything, right? So we can go ahead and do that. And even we can push through the user risk and this sign-in risk, and then device platforms and the location wise as well. So for now, I'm going to select only client apps and then set it to configure. And of course, I will set on all the legacy, including modern authentication clients, and then set it. And then that should be it for now. But depending on requirements and use cases, again, we can go ahead and set it up. And then next is going to be grants. Whether we wanted to grant basis on the multi-factor authentication, require authentication strength, device to be marked as compliant, Entra hybrid joint device, require approved client apps, and then app protection policy, password change requirement, or org-wide terms of use for managed and unmanaged. Here you can see that the one which we have created, which we really need to enforce it with a required MFA, right? So we need to select that one because this is the one which we have created. That means this terms of use is going to be enforced with this policy together, and it is going to ask people to go ahead and go through it and sign up as an accept the policy. If not, then we can enforce either we wanted to block the access or we should allow them to access or whatever it is. And for multiple controls, we can select either one of these or select all, right? Or set it to require all, and then it should be good. And next is the session. Session is not really required in this case, but it totally depends on the requirement of organization, how they wanted to manage this access levels, and then we can go ahead and enforce that as well. So for now, I'm not going to select any of these. right? And it should be good for us to go ahead and create this policy. So let's go ahead and create this one. For now, I have not turned this on policy. It is just a read only policy now, and you can see that this is our terms of use which we have created, right? So once you click on it, you can see all the details of it, and then language and version of that is also available here with the file that we have uploaded, and then we can see that. Also, there is very important point to note is that how many people have accepted this one and how many people have declined it. So accepted and declined, we see the both number of counts as a administrator, and then we can take that further, or we can simply modify the policy and enforce that change on the user side so that people can accept it and they should be abiding the rules and the policy overall, right? So yeah, this is the terms of use, creation and deployment, and which is pretty straightforward and easy. And also I will go back to protection and conditional access, and I'll show you that policy or the conditional access policy that we have created for this purpose. And from there, you can see simply, perfect. So this is that policy which is set to read only, right? And if we are good here, we should be ready to turn it on, or we can make it off if we don't want it to enforce it at all, right? So yeah, that is all for this video I wanted to show you, and hope you like it. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Also watch other videos around Microsoft 365, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, and other resources around Microsoft Azure and FinOps. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.